Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you on a Friday. Hope everybody's doing great. Um, so we just closed out a lackluster week, but we did find some selling at the very end here with a PPI number. Okay, so the PPI number came in a little bit hot, as you know. We got a sell off, and then we retraced, and so now we are back to the same old trading range that we've been in. Lots of volatility inside. We're actually going to close right on the lows here. So there was like a sell program that kicked in. Looks like right at the very end here. Okay, so just to update you. We did close our puts today. We had some SPY puts. We closed out our XLE puts. We were in oil earlier this. Actually, we got long oil. We were up about 2x, and then basically ended up taking a break-even trade on that. But I am trying to get long oil a little bit lower around the 69 area in oil. So next week, I think, we had a really nice bounce in oil from a lower level than where we got in. Our level that we got in was roughly around the 76.38. We came down a little bit lower. I got a level below that I'm looking at as well. So in any event, we had a really nice bounce. So we did get out of our XLE puts. In anticipation that we're probably going to get a bounce in oil. And in fact, I think oil might be bottoming out here around the $69 to $70 area as well. So, okay. In any event, hope everybody's doing well. There you go. A lot of people streaming in here. Yeah, it was a volatile end of the day, which is what we like to see when we're doing our options plays, right, everybody? So welcome again. Transparent Trading Solutions, Gabe Velazquez here with you. I think I got a little too over. I've been placing a bunch of orders right before I came in here. So if I looked a little frazzled, that's why. Trying to close out some stuff right towards the end of the week. So looking to next week, huge. I'm super excited about next week, right? As you guys know, we have we had the Fed meeting, which is going to be just monstrous. That's on Wednesday. We have CPI on Thursday, and if today was any precursor of that, if another hot number comes in, this market is going to unwind. So it's going to be interesting. We've been talking about the range, and the levels that we need to really look at on the S&P are. We had a big sell-off into the close today, but we still, I think we got to break 3,900, right? All in all, kind of largely just range trading. But I think coming into next week, 3,900 really is going to be the key level. If we can break down through that, then I think, we're probably going to head much lower. The way that things are setting up right now, this stubborn inflation numbers, the market obviously doesn't like it. You saw that this morning, but it was interesting because they try to recoup it, and then at the end of the day, they just gave it all back. So lots of volatility, very thin trading. I'd say lots of mixed messaging all over the place. On one hand, you had big. There's pockets of the economy that are very strong. There's persistent inflation a lot. So all that mixed messaging basically is why the market keeps kind of gyrating back and forth. But there are some interesting situations. One other thing we did too is, I think I mentioned this on Tuesday, DocuSign, the earnings play. So it did pop last night. It gave back. We actually left a little bit of money. I have to tell you, we left a little bit of money on the table in that. We got out right on the open today. it wouldn't have been a big mover because I mean, it only moved. We were on 42 strike calls, and at 50, we ended up really kind of break even on that trade. We could have made a couple of bucks, and we did leave a couple of bucks on the table. But we have some earnings next week that we're looking at, namely Coupa Software. We got Oracle. So we are going to be doing some of that next week. If you guys were in my class, I don't know, some of you guys may have been in my class this Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we were talking about there, the earnings plays really are the ones that are working right now. Okay. So where are we at? Let me just kind of recap not a lot really to talk about essentially in the indexes, because with all the movement back and forth, we really haven't made any changes really, if you think about it, right? 11.4, 11.475 on the NASDAQ. That's still kind of the overall support level. Nothing really changing there. It looks like we may want to break that. But until we do that, we're still basically stuck in these ranges for the most part. I do believe clearly next week, what were the three things you look at? What are you referring to, Kelly? Yeah, implied volatility, average range, and the spread between the options. But it's got to be that pattern. Remember, you were in the class, right? Yeah, so it's got to have that pattern, right? The breakout pattern. So, okay. All right. Okay, now on the nothing really. Again, we also trying to get long. Actually, trying to short. We're trying to short TLT. I actually have that. Came up a little bit shy, and you notice the bonds all sold off today, right? We had a big sell-off in bonds because of the hotter than expected PPI number. So we'll see again if we get another hot hot number on Tuesday, CPI. I think bonds have had a tremendous rally. I've been talking about this, right? Bonds have been having a tremendous rally. I mean, TLT went from 93 to 109, and we're coming up to some really high time frame distribution areas in TLT and in the bonds as well, in the particularly in the 10-year and the 30-year. So it wouldn't shock me if we get a big pullback in the bond market, and that would coincide with a pullback in stocks. So I've been talking about being very cautious now that the VIX went over 20, and so that's kind of playing out as well. And we could see the odds now for a Santa Claus rally are increasingly diminished. Okay, unless we get a really soft CPI number, and for whatever reason, the Fed, they're going to probably do 50, but it's always the press conference afterwards, right? So we'll see how that pans out. But on a technical basis, again, bonds probably due for a pullback. Dollar also just very choppy. So again, the dollar now seems to be caught in another range between 105 and 10. Let's call it 105.50 on the top end. Let's actually call it 104 to 106, just to make things simple for everybody. And you can see that on your price chart. If you pull up the Dixie dollar DXY, you can clearly see that looks like we're still headed lower. But here's the thing: we're on top of a daily accumulation now, and so could this be, could we get a bigger retracement back, possibly up to 107? Absolutely, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if we can really hang on to this 104.40 daily accumulation. Um, and that would also set up for some further weakness. If the dollar really takes off, it would set up for some further weakness in all the currencies. Silver had a really nice run. We're trying to short silver. Also, we have a short in silver set up, have a short in copper set up. I'm probably trying to get long, we're going to try to get long oil at a lower level next week as well. And possibly using USO. That's why we covered the XLE puts on the close today, because I believe we're probably going to get another bounce on that. And I do think that we are probably closer to the end of the drop in oil than we are to the beginning. So I do believe we're probably going to get some type of rally in oil again. Okay. Yeah, we had a grain report today, just kind of covering that real quick. That was very lackluster, really didn't move a whole heck of a lot, the grains. So it was not a big reaction. As I mentioned, still kind of looking at some of these wheat levels down in the $7 bushel area. Corn also. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes on the grain markets. I am really the one market. How many of you guys trade the soybean meal? So just kind of throwing something out there. Maybe you guys are new to soybean meal. It's ZM on TOS. I don't know what it is on. Not sure what it is on TradeStation. But look at that chart, everybody. Pull it up. That thing is like on a tear. It's got, it's $10 a point on that guy. So 471 to 472. It's $10 per. It's got 10 ticks and a point. But it is coming up to some pretty decent distribution levels. I mean, it's had a massive run up. And that's another market that you may want to take a look at on the future side, right? ZM, soybean meal on the grain side. Okay, so take a look at that. Take a look up in the 480s. You'll see some levels up there that look pretty decent. But again, if you haven't traded that, make sure you understand it's $10 per point. It's got 10. It's almost kind of like what's another market that's very similar? Kind of like the Russell, kind of this 10 points in a right. So check it out. Soy meal. And you can see that thing has just been like it's gone parabolic, really. Once it broke out above 445, it just went parabolic. So that could be something, again, something to look at. And other than that, really, next week we've got, as I mentioned, if you're interested in some of the stuff we're doing on the earnings, we've got the ones I have a whole list of earnings next week, but I did mention on Tuesday. You guys remember I mentioned MongoDB. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Now that was too rich for our blood for TTS, right? The premiums are we had to spend probably $12-15 on a volatility play for that one. So we stayed out of it. But man, that thing went like up 45 points, went from like 145 to 191. And so that's kind of situations that we're looking at. Next week, I think the one that is probably we're going to do is what is it? Coupa Software. I don't know if you guys are aware of that particular company. That and Oracle. Everybody knows Oracle, right? That's an old line. That's like back from the bubble days the 90s, right? The four horsemen or whatever. So yeah, so those are really all that's going on. Um, and I think the action, even though we had a huge sell-off on the close today in the S&P, we are now on the cusp of breaking down finally with the sell-off this afternoon. And let's see if again, we've had a bunch of these, right? Let's see if this is actually going to happen next Monday or Tuesday going into the Fed. I mean, that could be what triggers more selling. And the stubbornly high inflation, I think, is also going to put a lot of the bears coming back out of hibernation a little bit here. Okay. Other than that, do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Type it in. Again, sign up for the newsletter. If you were in the class on Tuesday and you're still, debating whether to, get on board, you can ping me, private message me, whatever. I think next week, if you understand what we're doing, is going to be tremendous. Again, sign up for the newsletter or anything else. Do you have any questions before I think I'm going to get out of here early because there's really not much that I haven't covered. And next week, I think we'll have a lot more to talk about because I think by then we'll break out some of these. We'll break out of some of these ranges finally. Yep. Yeah, but it's been a if you guys have been out there trying to trade the indexes, it's been challenging, right? These kind of back and forth movements. There's been something, and even oil stuck around. It had an attempted rally, and then it came right back down again, just very frustrating for a lot of people. Now, oil, unless you caught that big rally up to like 85. Or even in the last few days, looked like it was going to rally. It stalled right at 75, right at the previous peak, and then it came right back down again. And now it's rallying again. So it's been very, very volatile. And at some point, it is going to kind of have a big run to the upside, I believe, and I think we're getting close to that. And that gas similarly, just very choppy, very rangy, about 5.5 to 7 has been the range on nat gas. We are trying to get long that. So, but other than that, really, next week, I think is it. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. If you don't have anything else, I'm going to get out of here early. I got a bunch of stuff I need to do starting the weekend. So enjoy your weekend, everybody. Get ready for next week. I think we'll have a bunch of stuff to do. For sure, we're going to have a bunch of stuff to do next week. But in any event, have a great weekend, everybody. Again, if you want to contact me, contact support at Transparent Trading Solutions. USO. No, I'm looking at the chart right now. Hang on, Jim. No, a little bit higher than that, in fact. Yep. Just a little bit higher than that. No, if you wait down there, it's going to probably, we may have already missed it, by the way, because look at how oil bounced right off of $70. So, yeah, we're sitting at 62.85 on the, that's where we closed. I did, were you here when I mentioned that we closed out our XLE puts, Jim? Yeah, we've been in those for about a week, actually 2 weeks. Yeah, we just closed those out today. In fact, market on close. I just got that notification. You probably saw it in the background, right? Yeah, we just closed those. Those are the 88 puts on the XLE that we just closed out. Yep. So, all right. Know what? You said no. Know what? Anyways, all right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Have a great weekend. Again, if you need something, if you need, don't be shy. I never like hit me up on Twitter. I have a private. You guys follow me on Twitter. Private message me, or contact support, and I'll be glad to have a conversation with you. Okay. All right. Anyways, okay. I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and talk soon. Take care.